Hi children, namaste. This is a sequel to Selfish Giant Part 1. Okay, I'm going to drop you both. Already I have sent you Selfish Giant Part 1. I will send that video link as well as today's new lesson, that is Selfish Giant Part 2. The main in this lesson, the main point that you will be learning about how important the children are. First of all, happy Children's Day to you all children. This lesson is all about children, how beautiful they are, and how children are so good. Okay, so in this lesson, if, children, you know, changed a very angry man, a man who hated children. All that you will find in this. So here, children's names are not named like as we have names like Ramesh, Suresh, Suji, or something like that. No, they have named the children with their qualities like fat boy, round girl, square girl, tall girl, short girl, like that. So, and there are also two characters, the old giant and that giant. They are not different children. That is only one person. That giant means kind person. Old giant means little angry person. According to the mood of the lesson as it goes on, this character is used. Where anger has to be there, old giant is used. Where kind and good giant must be used in the character, then there that giant is used. So this is what we will be seeing in this beautiful lesson. So let's go to listen. Children, please write the hard words and send to me, and also write the question and answers and prepare for the exam. Okay, hope you will understand and enjoy this beautiful lesson. Please spend your time to listen and write the hard words and the meanings for them, and also not only vocabulary but also opposites also you will have to write. Okay, let's set go to listen to this beautiful lesson. Good morning children. English class 8. This is a sequence to one of the beautiful lessons, that is Selfish Giant Part 1, to the sequel. This is the second part, that is Selfish Giant Part 2. So we have seen how a selfish giant, being so selfish, he did not allow any child to his garden, because he has got a beautiful garden and he finds a group of students playing in his garden and he gets irritated and frustrated. That is the scene we had seen in the part 1. Now we are going to see what happened in part 2. Okay, let's begin to learn this. The old giant is talking. One morning I was lying awake in bed when I heard some lovely music. It sounded so sweet that I thought it must be the king's musicians passing by. But it was really only a little linnet bird singing outside my window. It was so long since I heard a bird sing in my garden that it seemed to me to be the most beautiful music in the world. So as the giant was lying, just on his bed, he heard a beautiful voice of like a king's musicians who used to play the fantastic and fantabulous music. So likewise, the same kind of music was heard by him, but it was not coming from any kind of musician, but it was coming from a linnet bird. And linnet bird is a small bird, but it sings so beautifully, children. So that is for the first time after so many days in his garden, again after so many years, he is listening to a beautiful music, and that's why he was taken up. So now we are coming to the same giant, that giant, which means there is a kind of little change in the character. That's why old giant and that giant. The hail has stopped dancing over my head, but the north wind has ceased his roaring. A delicious smell is coming from the window. I believe the spring has come at last. So we are now able to find out some signs of change of the season. So now the winter season has gone and spring is arriving. So when the spring is arriving, what do you find? no, falling off and sprouting again, the leaves, the flowers, and beautiful smell. And the same kind of scene is seen in his garden. And so he is believing that, yes, now the spring has come to my garden. The giant jumps out of bed and looks out through a little hole in the wall. The children have crept in and are sitting in his trees and on his trees and garden. So, as he saw through the window, through a hole of the wall, he finds that many children again came back, the same kind of children who made a lot of noise and playing in his garden. And now, old giant, in every tree I could see a little child. So, see, in his garden, on every tree there was a child, it seems. So old giant is anger character, the giant is a kind character. So in every tree I could see a little child. The trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's head. So even the see here, children and trees are so lovely, so happy, and so pleasant to have the children sitting on them. And they now bloomed, and there were fruits, flowers, and trees are dancing with them, waving their heads. Means the trees were moving, and trees and children were playing so nicely in the garden. Children, this is the point you need to understand. So you understand children, how innocent they are, how lovely they are. And so these are the things that you must analyze in your mind. The birds were flying about and twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene. Only in one corner it was still winter. It was the furthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. Okay, now here you see, children, in the garden everywhere flowers are there, fruits are there, the leaves are green, the trees are very young. And but where do you find something very, very unpleasant? Yes, in one corner of the garden there is a tree, and on the tree still there is no spring, but still winter is there. And underneath there is a boy. He is standing and looking, and there is not even a flower, not even a nothing is there. Still there is, in on that one tree place there is winter still. So the giant was shocked to see that. He was so small, but he could not reach up to the branches of the tree. So what kind of boy was he? He was a very small boy, and he could not climb the tree. Reach up to the tree means he could not climb. He was wandering all around it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still quite covered with frost and snow. So what was covered the tree? Frost and snow. So and still, so this boy was not able to climb on the tree. So that's why the tree hasn't got the spring, but it has still what? But still it has only what? Yeah, the tree has only winter season. So that's why still it was winter, because the lovely boy was not on the tree. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering all around it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still quite covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring above it. "Climb up, little boy," said the tree. It bent its branches down as low as it could. But the little boy was too tiny. Tiny means small. It was then that my heart melted. See here, the tree itself was bending. Come on, and it was encouraging the little boy. "My dear boy, please climb up the tree. Please climb on me." But he could not, because he was so tiny. How was he? He was so tiny. Means small. And immediately, by seeing that scene, whose heart became so soft. Melted means became so soft. Okay, so that was the giant. So now the giant is speaking. "How selfish I have been." See, he himself is feeling so sad for being all alone for himself. He was not for anybody. He was so selfish. Selfish means he was not ready to share with anybody till now. Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of the tree. Then I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playing ground forever and ever. You see here what are the kind of changes that happened in the giant. He's taking a new decisions. Now I'm going to break the wall. I'll put the small kid on the top of the tree. Till now he was against. It is like the children entering into his garden. But now he himself is telling, I will put the kid on the top of the tree, and also the wall that is blocking the children to come inside, I will break that and I will allow the children to come to my garden. And before he said, my garden is my garden, but now he's telling my garden will be the playground for children. Now, old giant, I was really very sorry for what I had done. So I crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly. Okay, so he opened and he started walking into his garden, and he moved towards the child where the child was lying. Okay, softly, and went out into the garden. But when the children saw me, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. See, and the child, when this giant opened the door and came out, by seeing this huge and big person, all the children ran away. And as soon as the children ran away from the garden, immediately what has come there? Again, the same season, that is winter season. Spring has gone and winter has come in. Okay, that such a big kind of change has happened. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were so full of tears that he did not see me coming. So I stole up behind him, and see, stole up means without seeing the little boy, you walked behind the little boy, by the back of the little boy, and took him gently in my hand and put him up into the tree. So when all the children ran away, but one did not run. Who is that? Yeah, it was the little boy. What is he doing? Was he smiling? No, he was crying and looking at the tree and finding his way to climb up the tree, but he could not. So immediately the old giant walked behind the child and took him by his hands and put him on the tree. And the tree broke at once into blossom. As soon as the boy was put on the top of the tree, immediately the tree or that place broke into blossoms. Means immediately there was new flower, and like a spring season it started. Okay, such a big change had happened, my dear children. Again, that place where the till now winter was there, it was no more winter. Broke once into the blossom. The birds come and sang on it, and the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them around my neck and kissed me. When the other children saw that, they came running back, and with them came the spring again. See, immediately the little boy coiled his hands around the neck of this giant and kissed him. As soon as seeing this scene, all the children who ran away fearing this big man, again they all came back to the garden, and along with him, along with the children, there came the spring season. So you see, children, now the giant. It is your garden now, little children. Old giant. I took great axe and knocked down the wall, and when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found me, yes, me, playing with the children on the most beautiful garden they had seen. So even the people who used to go that way, they used to see this big man was always angry against the children who were entering into his garden. But now people were also shocked. All day long we played, and in one evening the children came to bid me goodbye. So you see, children, so every day this giant and children played together in the garden and ate whatever is available. And one day all the children came there to bid him goodbye. Bid means say, to say goodbye. So now immediately there were these were the boys who were there, and they are talking. Tall girl, what was she talking? Now we have somewhere to play. Short boy, this is much better than the road. Square girl, yes, the road is so dusty and the dust makes me sneeze. Okay, so there They are marked by their qualities. Okay, the characters are given here by the appearance they are in. So tall girl, now we have somewhere to play. Short boy, this is much better than the road. So, and square girl, yes, the road is so dusty and the dust makes me sneeze. Sneeze means no, yeah, when you have some uh, irritation in the nose, you blow a wind of 100 kilometers. Graceful girl, what graceful girl means beautiful girl, and the grass is so much nicer than all those heartstones. Round boy, I like all the flowers here. And graceful girl, and the tree is also very good. Tall girl, how happy we are all here. Thank you, Mr. Giant. So they were talking about the pathetic road condition and all that, and the square girl, tall girl, graceful girl, fat boy, short boy. So these were the names. They were named after their qualities. Round boy, round boy means fat boy. Yes, thank you. You are very, very nice giant. The giant. But where is your little companion? So now the giant is worried about someone. Do you know who is he? Yes, he is the little child. The boy put into the tree. Graceful girl. I don't know. The girl and the other children are telling, we don't know who is that little guy, round boy. He has gone away. We have not seen him. He has gone his own way. We don't know where is he. The giant, you must tell him to be sure and come here tomorrow. So the giant is requesting, dear children, please tell that little boy to come to my place and see me. Tall girl, I don't know where he lives. Square girl, I have never seen him before. See, the other children, don't know about this little boy who could not climb up the tree. And they were all saying, we don't know where is he, who is he. The giant, but I wanted to thank him. When he kissed me on the cheek, I felt as though a great weight had been lifted from my heart. You see, children, when that little child kissed me, I was so taken up. I have become so kind. I felt that I am a human being. Until then, before, I was thinking that I am a devil. But now, I'm thinking that I am a human being, the giant. But I wanted to thank him. When he kissed me on the cheek, I felt as though a great weight had been lifted from my heart. So easy, children, it is. Old giant and the new giant, right? Short boy, I'm sorry, but I don't think he lives around here. So they were telling, we have not seen him around this place. He's not living with us. Old giant, every afternoon when school was over, the children come and played with them. But I never saw again that little boy. See, every afternoon also after the school is over, the little boy used to come to this place to play. But now they had not seen again that little boy. The little boy who I loved. Oh, I would like to see him again. Please call him. But all the children said, he never lives in our near our homes. We don't know who is he. I have grown old and feeble, waiting. I cannot play about with the children anymore. So the giant is telling, I have become an old man. I cannot play anymore with these children. So I sit here in my armchair and watch the children at their games and admire how lovely they are. So now, as he is old, he is not able to what to do? He is not able to do something. What is that? Playing games with the children. So rather, what is he doing? He is sitting in a chair. Which kind of chair? Armchair, and watch the children at their games and admire my garden. I have many beautiful flowers, but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all. Getting up and looking out the window. So he's always looking for that little child. And what is it telling? more than everything, children are the most beautiful kids. That's why, as you have celebrated children's day, I don't know, I'm sorry, because of this unlock period, or COVID period, we could not rather celebrate children's day. And what a beautiful day it is. So I no longer hate the winter. It is merely the spring asleep. The flowers are resting. Suddenly he rolls his eyes in window and looks around. So as he is talking about, suddenly he sees something through the window, and he says, I will never hate any season. Every season has its own effect. What marvelous sight is this! In the farthest corner of the garden, again in one side of the garden, there was a beautiful scene. A tree covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches are all golden. See, one corner of the garden, no, and a kind of special flowers are there on the tree, and it was very attractive. It was very beautiful. Okay, all garden, the its branches are all golden, and sheer fruit hangs down from them. And what is this? Can it be? Can it be that little boy there? So because all the trees in the garden are in one way, but this, who can it be? He has come back. He has come back. So that's what the giant is telling. I think he has come back. He has come back. Okay. So lovely senators. So that's what we find, a different, unique place in the garden, and that small place was so attractive. Suddenly, the old giant leaps down the stairs into the snowy garden and to the grassy patch where the child is standing. When he draws close to the child and examines him, his face grows red. So immediately the giant runs down from his palace to that little place, and he examines the child and examines, looks closely to him. His face grows red with anger. So the child face is growing red with anger. Old giant, who has dared to wound thee? Your hands, your feet, who has dared to wound thee? Tell me, that I may. Who has dared to wound thee? Tell me, that I may take out my sword and slay him. Slay means kill him. Somebody wounded this little child. That's why the old giant is so angry again. So, by seeing when the child is so wounded, the old giant got angry and asking, who has wounded you? Who has brought you bruises? Tell me, that I may kill that fellow. I will not allow that fellow to sit like this. Child, no, but these are the wounds of love. Now the child is talking. No, these are the wounds of love. Yeah, we also give a lot of wounds our parents. Yeah, right? They are necessary. Old giant, falling to his knees, little child, who are you? Who art thou means who are you? So falling on his knees, he is bending on his knees. And children, how many times you have wounded your parents? Think like this. Child, smiling, you let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to live in my garden, which is in paradise. The child climbs. Paradise means heaven. Because you let me once play in this garden, you took me by your hands and put me on the tree, top of the tree. Now you're going to come to my garden, heaven, which is more beautiful. Okay. Climbs into the old giant's arms. The winter melts away before them as they walk into an ever expanding garden. So the giant again takes this little child into his hand, and they start walking in the garden. As they walk, the garden goes on increasing, goes on increasing. So whom do you think this child could be? Any guesses? Yeah, it is the child. Sorry to say, God. God Himself came back. And now, children, as you have heard the lesson, now you will hear to the animation of part 1 and 2 of this selfish giant. Okay, the voice is not mine, the voice is original clip. So please listen to this animation. It is a beautiful, like a movie scene you will find, you will enjoy. So please listen to this animation video of this beautiful lesson, the selfish giant part 1 and 2. So let's start viewing and watching this beautiful animation of selfish giant part 1 and 2. Okay.
The selfish giant. The friendly giant. Every afternoon, while returning from school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. There were beautiful flowers and peach trees in the garden. The birds sang on the trees and the children listened to them in delight. One day, the giant came back. He had gone to visit his friend and stayed with him for 7 years. When he came, he saw the children playing in his garden.
"What are you doing here?"
he cried in a gruff voice. The scared children just ran away.
"My garden is only mine,"
said the giant,
"and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself."
So he built a high wall all round it and put up a notice board. Trespassers will be prosecuted. He was a very selfish giant. The poor children had nowhere to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty. They wandered around the high walls and talked about the beautiful garden inside. Then came spring, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in the garden of the selfish giant, it was still winter. The birds did not care to sing in it, as there were no children. The trees forgot to blossom.
I cannot understand why spring is so late in coming,
said the selfish giant, as he sat at the window of his castle and looked out at his cold white garden.
"I hope there will be a change in weather."
But spring never came, nor did summer. Jumped out of the bed and looked out. There he saw the most wonderful sight. Through a hole in the wall, the children had crept in and they were playing on the trees. The trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms. The birds were chirping with delight and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene. As the giant looked out, his heart melted.
"How selfish I have been,"
he said.
"Now I know why spring did not come here. I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever."
He was really very sorry for what he had done. So he crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. Only one little boy did not run. He was not able to run, so he started crying. The giant gently picked him up and took him in his arms. The little boy stretched out his arms and flung them around the giant's neck and kissed him. When the other children saw that the giant was not wicked any longer, they came back running, and with them came spring.
It is your own garden now, little children,
said the giant. He took a great hammer and knocked down the wall. Every afternoon, when school was over, the children came and played with the giant. As the giant watched the children playing, he would say,
I have many beautiful flowers, but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all.
End A. One morning, the giant woke up to the strains of lovely music. It was a little bird singing outside his window. A pleasant fragrance came to him. Hoping that spring had come at last, the giant jumped.
Thank you, children, for listening to me. Hope the lesson was so clear for all of you. In case if you have any doubt, immediately please not let a second fall down. Please call me and ask for your doubts. And don't forget, I want full length of vocabulary. Please write the hard words and find meanings for them. If you don't have a dictionary book, then you download the app called Word Web Dictionary. And this dictionary will really help you, children. Okay? Hope you will understand, you enjoyed and understood this lesson. In case if you don't understand, please call me. Okay? Thank you.